right, everybody, welcome to another episode of You Don't Know Squatch.
We're here with Jim Myers and Josh Cantu. How you doing, Josh?
I'm all right. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. Awesome. Excited about this episode.
So what we got going today?
Well, let me do a little background on this before we jump into our interview. But I've been thinking for a long time, and you know I've talked about this, Josh, how there are no really good Bigfoot movies. I mean, we've torn a few of them apart.
Yeah, I know. I've just been watching them.
And just because they're so awful. The acting is awful. The content's awful. You know, Bigfoot's portrayed in an inaccurate way. So I've always thought, one of these days, one of my bucket list things would be to make a really good, interesting, and accurate Bigfoot movie. Well, that's going to happen now.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
It is. And in fact, the main guy that I met about a year and a half ago, probably, through a different project, we started talking about making a Bigfoot movie, and actually we've gotten Josh into this now. So I think all three of us can talk about what we've got going. But Rob is a television producer and filmmaker, and he has partnered with myself and Josh Cantu, actually, to create this Bigfoot movie that I've always wanted to make. So welcome, Josh, welcome, Rob. We're glad you're with us.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Jim, Josh, it's really great to be here.
And we actually have Rob in our studio, so instead of by phone. Usually we do these interviews by phone, so it's great to have you
thanks
here.
Thanks for coming over. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a nice drive.
And the reason he's here is we were actually doing some pre-work on this movie we're talking about, doing some storyboarding, and I'm excited. We've got a great movie in store.
So I guess the real question is here, what's your perfect Bigfoot movie?
I mean,
you are a researcher and an expert in the field here.
You mean what movie that actually exists, or what would my perfect movie?
What would your perfect movie be?
Okay. So the perfect Bigfoot movie, in my humble but accurate opinion, is a movie that is not a found footage movie. That's been overdone. It's not a monster movie in terms of Bigfoot being a bloodthirsty, cannibalistic monster. So that's what it's not. So the best idea I could come up with for a Bigfoot movie would be one that shows Bigfoot accurately and shows Bigfoot research accurately, and is still a fun, exciting movie. So I think that's what we've come up with.
Well, Rob's going to help us do that.
He is.
Yeah, I think we have a really good idea. It's going to be a movie that if you've never even heard of Bigfoot, when you walk away from this, you're going to know about Sasquatch, you're going to know about researchers, and you're going to be scared a little bit.
And it's going to be accurate. What we show is going to be accurate.
Right.
It's going to be a little bit scary, or maybe a lot scary, actually. And it's going to have a twist in the end. So Rob and I have said to each other in the past, if Alfred Hitchcock made a Bigfoot movie, this would be it. Isn't that awesome?
That is
a great
awesome.
byline.
So, Rob, how did you meet with Jim here?
I was shooting a feature on the Sasquatch Outpost, which Jim owns, and that's where I met him.
Called me out of the blue, actually.
Yeah, no, I emailed you.
Emailed me.
I think I sent an email to your website, to your contact page.
Maybe you did. I think
you
did.
And nobody ever responds from those because I don't think anybody ever looks at them. But Jim did. He called me up and he was driving somewhere, which is what he's always doing. And so we just started talking about it. And basically, I came into Bailey. I shot some of his stuff and did a bunch of interviews. And I've always been a Bigfoot fan, I guess, an enthusiast. So we just started talking. And he came over to. I've got some cabins up behind Pikes Peak, and him and his wife came up over the weekend, and we just started the idea. Hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a Bigfoot movie?
And we did some footage there. We did a night. Yeah. We put some stuff out at night to see what would happen, and
right.
Did a lot of shots in the woods. It was kind of fun. So
yeah.
And the episode turned out really well. I thought it was turned out better than I would have thought it would have based on the footage that we shot. So you're a real clever guy when it comes to editing and post-production, but I think it turned out to be it was a good portrayal of the Sasquatch Outpost. I thought you did a good job, a fair job.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever someone wants to do a story on the Sasquatch Outpost, I'm always wondering, okay, what take are they going to put in, what take on the outpost? Because you could easily get someone who talks about like, oh yeah, I want to do a real accurate, it's going to be fair, and then they end up trashing you. And that's never happened, but you never know.
Right.
And so, but I didn't get that idea when I first met you. You were a genuine guy, and I thought, okay, Rob's going to do a fair portrayal of the outpost in our research and all that. And you did, so I appreciate it.
Well, in the museum at the outpost, I when I first walked in there, I was blown away. I think you did a great job building this museum.
I appreciate that.
It's very, very polished. You got a lot of artifacts in there, a lot of sculptures. Boomer is awesome.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking to, you're just going to have to go down there and look at Boomer.
You got to come meet Boomer.
So
Boomer's the main man in the museum.
So you're a true believer?
I am.
Yeah?
I am. I always have been. I've never really seen anything. Just recently, I really believe I've heard something, because in the environment I was in, it was either Bigfoot or it was somebody dying in a snowstorm, and we won't find their body until probably June or July.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got a funny story to tell here that involves Rob and I. We were going out to his cabin for this little night getaway, and I pull up to the entrance gate, and Rob was waiting there for us. And I get out of my truck, and we're talking, and now Rob is looking up behind me at the hill, and all of a sudden he goes, "What in the hell is that?" And we turn around, and there's this figure up on the top of the hill looking down at us, and it was far enough away that all three of us were like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
and
so
it was making weird movements with its arms.
It looked like something was wrong with its arm. One arm was longer than the other.
Something.
It was all black because it was up against the sun. It was so.
And of course, me being me, I'm like, "Dude, we have got to go see what that is." And so my wife, being the good sport that she is, I'm like, "Rob, let's go run up there and see what that is." So Rob says, "Nah, I'll wait here by the truck, And it's a good thing you did, as we'll see in a second. But so I go taking off running up this hill, and it's a steep hill, and I'm pretty much dragging Daphne up with me, and we're hiking, and then I notice a house over on the side, and I thought, "Oh, somebody lives up here." And we get to the top, and there's nothing there, and we start back down, and I hear this voice saying, "Who are you, and what do you want?" And I thought, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to get shot." And it was the owner of that house. It was their property, and they were the one that had been standing up there. And I said, "Listen, this is going to sound really crazy, but I'm going to just tell you the truth. Were you standing up here a minute ago?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "I thought you were Bigfoot." And she just started laughing. And I said, "I know you don't look anything like Bigfoot, but from a distance, and didn't you have a big coat or something?" And she goes, "Yeah, I had a big coat on." I said, "I apologize for trespassing, but that's what we're doing." She just started laughing, and we ran back down to Rob. But thankfully, somebody had come who needed to get around our vehicles.
Yeah, it was my neighbor.
His neighbor. So I told Rob what had happened, and he said, "Yeah, my neighbor said, I sure hope they don't talk to that person in that house because they're not very nice.
And they have a gun.
And they have a gun." So anyway, funny Bigfoot story. If you ever go out with me, if I think I saw Bigfoot, you're gonna know it. I'm gonna take off going to find out. So,
yeah, it was pretty funny.
It was funny. So, yeah, we've had a few experiences since we've known each other a year or so ago. But anyway, that's how Rob and I met. So we have done a production together, and now
we're dragging Josh into this.
Now we're dragging Josh into this funny mix of a Bigfoot movie.
How are you going to feel having the skeptic on board?
Well, you won't be a skeptic for the whole time. So the movie, we come up with a title. It's going to be called Backwoods. And I actually came up with a movie poster that we're looking at right here. It looks really cool.
And this takes place in the city, of course, right?
Yeah, Backwoods. Backwoods, the tale of Bigfoot in the city.
That's the name of a park in Denver.
That's right. So our byline here underneath the title Backwoods says, "Be careful what you wish for. It may have other plans."
Oof.
And I've shown that to several people. Without fail, every one of them says, "Ooh, I like that second line there. That's really cool." So I think we got a winner there, Rob.
Where would people be able to go see this poster?
Well, right now, nowhere because we've just created it, but we'll obviously put a copy up in the Sasquatch Outpost.
Well, not only that, but you'll be able to see a copy of it on our new Kickstarter page.
Yes. Speaking of which, trying to raise some money to make a movie. Tell us about the Kickstarter page.
The Kickstarter page is exactly that. It's on Kickstarter.com. And we're putting together a campaign to raise $30,000 to produce this movie. That may seem like a large amount of money or a small amount of money, depending on who you are. But we're pretty efficient filmmakers, and that is the number we came up with that we're comfortable with. But we really would like to raise that money on Kickstarter. So
we're making a pitch now.
Yeah, here's the pitch. Go ahead, Jim.
So our pitch is we need people to invest in this movie. Now, if you are at all interested in Bigfoot and, talk to us about our vision, but we hope that people will want to invest because they want to see a really good Bigfoot movie made. But we're offering a lot of incentives, aren't we?
We are. In some of the lower tier incentives, we're offering digital copies of the movie poster. We're offering printed copies of the movie poster, digital copies of the movie when it comes out, Sasquatch and Bigfoot T-shirts, actually designed by Jim, and that also come out of the Sasquatch.
We should
Outpost.
use this image on a T-shirt. We got to figure out a way to print that.
We should totally.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, so go to the Kickstarter page and see what this image looks like.
But
anyway, some of the top tier positions on Kickstarter, if you were to donate, is you will actually be able to have a part in the movie and be part of the Bigfoot hunt that takes place in the movie as well. Just go to our Kickstarter page and it'll list all of the opportunities.
Absolutely. So you have a way to be a part of the movie financially, but actually be a part of the movie in person.
Right.
So that's the opportunity that's out there. And do we want to talk a little bit about some of the ideas we've got for this movie?
Well, we can
How
talk
much do we
about.
want to give away? We can't give away.
That's kind of the thing. I'm not sure we want to give away a lot, but I will say that there will be some things in this movie. If you've watched other, I'm not going to say other Bigfoot movies because there really aren't. But there's a lot of Bigfoot TV. There's a lot of Bigfoot television shows on. And we're using some techniques that real Bigfoot researchers use that I have not seen on some of these shows. So
that's what's going to be a little bit different about our movie is we're actually going to show what Sasquatch research really is. What are some of the tools that we use, some of the techniques to engage with Bigfoot. So it's going to be accurate from that perspective.
Well, yeah, you don't see a lot of that stuff on TV. It's always like, oh, we didn't find him.
Right.
Let's
go out and yell and
he wasn't there again.
and knock on trees, and that's all they're going to do. But there's a whole lot more that we're going to bring into this movie.
I mean, our goal is to find a Bigfoot.
Yes.
A Sasquatch.
So I would say half entertainment, half reality, right?
Yeah, sure.
Well, and there will be a twist in the end. I mean, that's as all good Hitchcock movies have. There will be a twist. So that's all I can say at this point.
That's totally different in itself. There's not that many films out there that blend reality.
Right.
Well, and also this will be the one Bigfoot movie that you won't see any blood or entrails.
And some people are like, "Oh, dang!" That's what I am
because I have an awesome recipe for blood. It's like you add a little Hawaiian punch and cocoa to it, and it gives it a nice taste.
Yeah, that's not going to be in this movie. Sorry, Josh. Good idea. Next movie we make maybe.
But no, I think we're we're going to have some new techniques for hunting Bigfoot that you haven't seen before. And Jim,
hunting in terms of trying to find them, not hunting to kill.
Right, sorry.
This is not Killing Bigfoot version 2.
No, this is finding and running away. I'm kidding.
Finding and running away.
Plus, we don't have that many rednecks around here to fill a cast of.
True.
Bigfoot.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about maybe one of the techniques that we're going to use that...
Probably the do we want to give away the main technique or one of the other techniques? I mean...
It's up to you.
Well, the one of the techniques that we're going to be bringing into this movie is the idea of gifting with Bigfoot. And Josh and I have talked about this in previous episodes. The idea is you go out in the woods, in the backwoods, you find a spot that nobody else knows about, and you bring objects that you are hoping Sasquatch will interact with you around and with. And so you bring things that and put them out there. You film what you leave, and then when you come back a day, 2 days, a week later, you film what you find. And it's something that's gaining interest in the Sasquatch research world because they interact with us. They really do. And I think the key is they know when we're in the woods. They're watching us whether we are aware of it or not. So every time we've done this, we've had 4 in our own research, myself and my research team, we've had 4 different gifting sites. All 4 have had an interaction with Bigfoot.
So what would be an example of a gift?
Well, it can be interesting objects like we've used seashells, we've used interesting colored rocks, crystals, marbles.
You were saying they really like the little toy animals.
Little toy animals, particularly little toy horses. We've tried horses, cows, dogs. They seem to like the horses and the cows. The dogs they don't like. The dogs are always thrown down off of the area wherever we've... The horses they'll take, but the dogs are still there but thrown down in obvious demonstration of we don't like this.
Yes, I have a very strong theory that Bigfoot hates dogs.
That's been proven true in real life, unfortunately.
Because of that.
Does he hate dogs or the taste of them?
It seems like what was it? The Legend of Boggy Creek?
Yeah.
Was that where they threw the dog? That's the only thing Bigfoot came to the yard to do was kill the dogs.
They did kill dogs, and plus in the Legend of Boggy Creek, they tried to track Bigfoot, and they had a track line that they could follow. None of the dogs would go.
That's right.
They refused to follow that track line.
One of those episodes of Killing Bigfoot too. The dogs were.
They just don't. They don't. They know Bigfoot smell from any other smell. It's not a mountain lion. It's not a bear. They do not like it, and they won't follow it.
So don't put plastic dogs in your gifting bag.
Put plastic dogs in your gifting bag. But then there's other things. We've tried some food items. Now with food, the problem is you're never sure whether Bigfoot took it or a bear or a raccoon or whatever. So we've tried some things like taking a jar of peanut butter and with a lid. Obviously the lid is still on there, but what we'll do when we go out is we'll unscrew the lid in a very theatrical, dramatic way so that this is us unscrewing the lid. And then we show that to whoever's watching us, and then we screw it back on. And we've gone out. I have research partners who've used peanut butter, and they've gone back, and every time they've gone back, the peanut butter jar had the lid on it. But when they opened it, a couple times there were finger gouges, like they gouged peanut butter out, or a big tongue lick of the peanut butter, but the lid is always put back on. That's the craziest part.
So you're going to have to put some beef jerky in the thing so we could find out if they really like beef jerky.
Yeah, if we want to get some funding from Jack Links.
Hints.
Don't mess with Sasquatch.
Product placement.
Product placement, yeah.
So you guys went out with Jim before on his, what was the most convincing thing you saw while you were out there?
With me, and when we were out there, I just saw. I mean, I had a camera, I had a recorder, and he knew exactly what tree to put it on, what side of the tree to put it on, and I had no clue what he was doing. And he did everything for a reason.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. And then he's like, okay, now we got to get the hell out of here real quick because they can see us doing this. And I'm like, really?
So just from watching Jim set up, you were like, well...
It looked like he knew what he was doing, and I was impressed. And that's when, after that, we got back to the camp, and we just started talking about the movie.
Yep.
And then in the morning, we talked about it a little bit more, and then it got a little bit more serious, and here we are.
Here we are actually planning to make this movie.
It's almost like you were so convinced that, like, the experience drove you to share this with other people.
It did. And I'm kind of like Jim. I've always wanted to do a Bigfoot movie myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a good one, again.
A good one. Unlike anything. This will be unlike any Bigfoot movie that I'm convinced has ever been made.
Right. And a lot of filmmakers say that, but in this case,
I think this will prove to be the case.
I really think it will.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a quick thing if we do get the if we can get the funding by end of May, we're going to be shooting right away.
Yeah, so you don't have long. Once we launch this Kickstarter page, you won't have long to invest because we've got to get going on this project.
Jim's already. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but you've already done the research on possible locations for this research.
There's a lot of locations we can use because part of this movie is a genuine Bigfoot expedition that we're going to do.
Right.
And so who knows what's going to happen when we're out there filming a movie. I think we're going to have real interaction happen. Because,
we're going to be out there.
Yep.
We're going to be away from vehicles, 2-3 days hike away from a vehicle. So in some pretty remote,
absolutely
mountainous areas.
Which is kind of a creepy thought just to begin with.
Yeah.
So going off the movie theme, since that's what we're talking about, what movie that exists now, it doesn't have to be a Bigfoot, movie monster, would you closely associate with Bigfoot?
In how we want to portray Bigfoot?
No, just period. Like
just period.
From your feelings on Bigfoot, what movie monster would you assign him? Because mine has always been Predator.
Predator. Oh, that's an interesting concept, especially because we've mentioned this before as well. There's some discussion and conjecture about Bigfoot having some ability to cloak like Predator.
Yeah, and the fact that everybody we talk to, I mean, this is where I'm getting convinced is, he's an alien. That's what Rob was saying. So he came from the sky, just like the Predator, and he hides. And who knows what he does? Maybe he does hunt us and take us back to his planet for trophies.
Maybe. Predator's a good example. I'm trying to think of another movie monster that I would...
You got one, Rob?
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back.
What,
the cave yeti.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, the cave yeti.
The cave yeti that gets his arm sliced off by Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah.
So intelligent enough to hang somebody up in their own icebox.
Tenderize him a little bit, but dumb enough not to know that he has a lightsaber.
Yeah. Which he calls to him
right
at the last critical moment.
Right. It's not a gift.
It's not a gift.
I know we're talking a little Frankenstein, too, because he's misunderstood.
Yes, that's true. And the original Frankenstein movie was not a monster movie per se. It was a kind of a human interest story that was really scary because it's about this being that was put back together by different parts and brought to life. But Frankenstein in the real Frankenstein stories has a personality. He's happy, he's sad, he's angry. So it's not just a mindless... Frankenstein is not just a mindless monster. And it's funny because it's not Frankenstein. Frankenstein is the doctor. The monster is...
It's Frankenstein's monster.
It's just a monster.
And he never had a name.
No, so people think the name of the monster is Frankenstein, but it's not.
Right. People name their cows. I mean, you got to get Frankenstein in there.
Yeah. So...
Jeff, Tom.
I
wonder how that was
Sasquatch...
credited.
Huh?
I wonder how that was credited. Was it
I
actually
think
credited
it was the
Frankenstein?
monster. No,
Just
I think
the
it was
monster?
the monster. Yeah.
I check that out.
Was that? It was. Who played him? Not Bela Lugosi. It was. God, I can't remember.
Lugosi was Dracula.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Herman Munster. No, that's not it. Anyway, but Sasquatch, I think I would compare him to the monster in Frankenstein because they have a personality, they are intelligent, they are misunderstood, they are considered by most to be a monster, and I mean with good reason. They're 8 feet tall and hairy and enormously powerful, and I wouldn't mess with them. I wouldn't have messed with the monster in Frankenstein either. So, yeah, I think that's not a bad, movie monster to compare Bigfoot to in some respects. So
You imagine Teen Wolf instead of a wolf, it was a Bigfoot. That team would have killed it.
that's right, Teen Wolf, Teen Bigfoot. Let's hope they don't make a Teen Bigfoot movie.
You better hope they don't send recruiters into the woods because they're going to start finding Bigfoot for sure with contracts.
Yeah, for sure. Agents, Bigfoot's agents.
But so you would say Frankenstein monster?
Yeah, I would, just because, not because of appearance, but because of the idea of how the Frankenstein monster came about.
And also, I think there might be some other stories and legends, some campfire tales, if you will, that their original origins might be Bigfoot, but they may have been mistaken for something else. Even hermits like to live out there in the backwoods. And
how about Chewbacca? I mean, everyone wonders whether George Lucas designed Chewbacca from a Bigfoot idea.
Lucas says in some of his interviews that his inspiration for Chewbacca was his sheepdog. But he sure looks like Bigfoot to me.
He's as big as Bigfoot. He's strong, rips people's arms off.
Yeah, definitely.
Has another language that you don't understand.
Wookiees, that's a very, you could definitely make that mistake. But
whether he intended it or not, I'm going to say he based him off of a Sasquatch.
Right.
In my humble but accurate opinion.
Or he just could be an unshaven homeless guy. I don't know.
A really big, really strong, unshaven homeless guy. Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
So that's awesome. So once again, guys, where can people help out?
Go to our Kickstarter page. Go to...
which should be live soon, very soon.
Yeah, well, it'll be live when this podcast is.
Right, it will be.
Just go to Kickstarter.com and search Backwoods.
Yep.
Awesome. Jim, you got anything you want to plug today?
I don't, except that obviously I always want to plug the Sasquatch Outpost, and we got some exciting changes coming. I'm not going to give that away yet, but you are going to want to visit the Sasquatch Outpost a few months from now because things are going to be different and better. So we always got to be changing stuff up, adding stuff, because we want people to come back.
That's awesome because every time I do come in there, it is different from the last time.
Yes, it is.
And I guess for us, what I got is, if you guys are interested in the area that we call Bigfoot country here, be sure to check out South Park Heritage Experience. You can find us on Facebook. It's a little eye candy for you. Lets you know. Rob, you got anything to plug?
Not at this point, no.
No? All right.
I'm working on some other movies, some other projects, and maybe on down the line if we do this again,
sure.
I'll definitely plug that.
All you got to do is give us a call. We'll do it.
All right.
No problem.
Well, and I think what we can do, Josh, is as we get into this project and get funding and are working on it, maybe we can do another interview with Rob as we're in the project.
Yeah, if you'll have us come kind of an update.
Updated, yeah.
Of course.
That'd be awesome. All right, guys. So I want to know what movie monster you associate with Bigfoot. So let us know. You can hit us up on Facebook.
Absolutely.
We're on Instagram, and our website. It's all
YouTube.
Fancy. Yeah, YouTube too. We started posting. Have you seen those yet?
I did, yeah.
The little audio.
Yep, they're cool.
I thought that was pretty crappy. All right, guys. Well, till next time, always remember,
you don't know Squatch.